Okay. Here we go. Hey, everybody. As always, I start these out with, let me know how things sound. Chat, please feel free to shout out if someone's too loud or too quiet, because I depend on you so much. And you're all wonderful. Welcome, everybody, to AV Epochs live stream. This is Dan Stacy. I'm Dan Stacy, and you are about to witness my nerdy family and I use silly voices and some D20s plus attributes because we are playing Level Up Advanced 5th Edition. This is a very special collaboration with Interplanar Crossroads and Copper Dragon Games. I'm very excited to get into it. Let's see. Thank you, Jacob.
I got you.
Quick announcements before we start. Of course, we hit our supporter challenge and are having the 𝓏𝓮𝓵𝓙𝓸𝓙 movie night April 1st. No joke. April 1st, we're having the 𝓏𝓮𝓵 movie night. We are 3 supporters away from our additional Lightning Challenge, where we'll unlock a whole nother care package of dice and dice pads, DVD, a lot of cool stuff. So if you want to become a part of the ever-growing forest and help us unlock that additional giveaway, it's going to be a great night. Everyone's invited. Even if you're at a lower tier and you normally don't get to do movie nights with us, you will be invited to this one. Everyone's coming, and it'll be a great time. And of course, starting in March, we will have March of the Mechs, beginning our themed month collaboration with the Interplanar Crossroads. We've already recorded the Around the Hearth, so I'm very excited about it. Jacob is working like a monster making the module ready, so we'll be doing Force Forge where we build it, and then a live stream play where we do it. And our final announcement is March 8th begins the Knights of New Seattle, which is the gang that did Outlaws of Älvkenstar are coming back to play in Fallout using Savage Worlds rule set. So I'm very excited for that. Keep an eye out for some posters because Chiro Chiba is amazing. So anyways, I think that's it for us. Is there anything you can think of?
No, I don't think so.
Let's do this. Let's find a proper window where OBS is and say hello to all these wonderful people. And I will turn it over first to our longtime friend and collaborator, Adam from the Interplanar Crossroads. Where can people find and support you, sir, and how are you tonight?
Well, greetings and salutations, travelers. I'm glad to be back on Avenue Studios. Oh, we're going to be doing the collab game, and I am able to be found on YouTube at theinterplanarcrossroads.com, where we do mainly the Around the Hearths, along with other creation-type stuff for tabletop gaming. If you've been here, you know that. So as far as announcements for me, I've got the main milestone for this year, or, well, for as long as it takes, is going to be reaching $100 a month support for the Interplanar Crossroads through any avenue of whether it's Patreon, Locals, Subscribestar, or direct contact. And that is the plan to reach that. And once we do, depending on how far we go over, how fast, I may do some metal dice, custom metal dice orders or something like that for people. So to go in for the winning, and we'll be doing like live games and stuff to celebrate, because that'll be a big deal. But that's mainly what we've got going for milestones. The only other thing to announce, along with March of the Mechs, is those will be coming out, as well as I want to keep going with the weekly updates as long as it's happening, Adventure Academia. So that'll be going on as well over on our channel.
Awesome. That's great. I love it. Academia. Josh from Copper Dragon Games. Welcome, sir, to Avenue Studios. Where can people find and support you?
Oh, well, thank you for having me. First of all, can't talk for some reason. I am Josh, Copper Dragon Games. You can find me on YouTube and various other places. CopperDragonGames.com is a good place to find all the links to all the things. Coming up, we've got on the Copper Dragon Games channel, we're covering a lot of 5E stuff. And I say 5E because I've traditionally been a D&D channel, covering a lot of virtual tabletop resources. And in these days, I'm just focusing on the evolution of 5E, whether or not we're looking at actual D&D stuff. Who's to say? Black Flag Project, A5E, yes. Whoever else comes out with a cool setting or system. Just excited to cover all the new evolutions of my favorite gaming system and going forward there.
Awesome. That's great. I can't wait for this, actually. I don't think I've ever played Level Up, so I'm really excited for this.
Noobs.
Noobs.
We'll be fine.
Well, hey, we're all noobs, actually. I have played Level Up. This is actually my first time DMing it, or GMing it.
Awesome.
So
we got this.
If there are any viewers out there who are A5E aficionados and realize that I'm totally messing something up as a GM, just give me some grace on the front end.
Yeah. We all need it, don't we? Oh, my word. That's awesome. Well, then, I think, without further ado, Jacob, by the way, thank you for being here. Jacob gets to play today.
I get to be a player. I'm so excited.
Amazing.
I've been literally said it many times to my wife. I get to be a player tonight.
Well, then, switching over
part
to the
of that is your own doing, my man. Part of that is your own doing.
Oh, I mean, I do actually love being the GM, but it is very exciting to take a break. Thank you, Josh, for taking the helm on this one.
Absolutely. All in good fun.
All right. I think that's it. Without further ado, the map is up. Let us begin.
So let's jump in with a quick little intro just for anybody who's joining us and didn't really know what we were getting into. I am Josh. I'll be your friendly neighborhood game master this evening. And tonight, our goal is to test out A5E in some shape or form. We're focusing on playing 5E without actual D&D, so we've got a lot of content from various third-party publishers that we're kind of mishmashing together, and we're just going to see how this plays. There's a little bit from me personally, a little bit from Ian Publishing, a little bit from Kobold Press, and a little bit from MCDM. But I don't want to spend too much time on that. We want to actually get in and play the game. So without further ado, if we can go around and just have each player at the table, the virtual table, introduce themselves. They've already introduced themselves. Introduce the character that they'll be playing tonight. We've got 4 very interesting PCs that we'll be interacting with this evening.
Man.
I guess I'll take the helm.
Yes.
Yeah. So what you see here on the bridge is Krusk Wolf Eden. I kind of look. I'm human, but I look rough. I like eating a lot of meat. I'm also a druid, so I like eating a lot of meat. I wear a lot of furs and leathers. I make myself, of course, and I cast the spells and I do stuff. The biggest thing is I love this town. I love living around here, and I've been, relatively new resident, but they've taken a liking to me. I think. I'm assuming. And I always have my trusted companions with me. Look at this little guy right here.
I'm assuming that's me.
That's you.
Knobby serves Master Krusk. First, Knobby serves Master Krusk's mother, father. They're not. They send me after they gone. They send me to Master Krusk, and Master Krusk must have his Knobby.
So I'm a little leshy.
Very, very good. Yes, you are very good to me. Thank you. And the real brawn of the group here.
That would be me.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, you got that right.
What?
Nothing. Keep going.
I'm Azora. So, I am a blue dragonborn. I generally look peeved off all the time, and
True.
yeah, I'm always ready for a fight, and I'm looking for a special treasure to bring back home to my family someday. I will find the best one because I am the best. So, and I brought him.
Hi, everybody. I'm Yeemik. I'm so glad to actually be here. Zora usually doesn't let me leave. She makes me stay with Killian all the time, and he makes me do a lot of weird stuff. So I'm just really glad to be here and be a part of it. I'm a goblin, and I make things blow up sometimes. And I just like to learn this. I feel like after Zora and Killian and Krusk helped me get out of the caves, I feel like there's so much to learn and understand and know. So I'm just really happy to be here, and I just help me keep an eye on my goggles. I'm always losing them. Sometimes I end up with extras, but I'm so excited to be. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much.
Yeah, you're talking too much. Stop.
Yeah, that was a great monologue. Good job.
Thanks.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, with all our characters introduced, we begin our game. Our adventure begins in a small rural village known as Brimberg. It is a tiny place on the outskirts of civilization. Our party of adventurers are just returning to town from who knows what escapades they've gotten into out in the wilderness. But they come into town across the bridge at the south side of town, crossing over the Plover River and passing by Castle Brimberg. And what they notice as they pass over the bridge and start moving into the city proper itself is a crowd of individuals gathered just outside the entrance, outside of the gates to Castle Brimberg. And they hear this voice shouting over the crowd. "You're looking in all the wrong places! You're wasting your time! And every second that passes, she's in more danger! Why are you so short-sighted?"
Azora, do you hear that? I don't hear anything.
No, I don't hear anything either.
I hear a lot of people shouting. Is that what you're talking about?
No.
Oh, poor Master Krusk. See, the man over there says the woman's missing. Some woman. That's what she says, of course. That. You want me find out?
Is she made of gold? Let me.
She could be.
Maybe.
Okay. Bye.
Let's go interrupt this scene.
Okay, what do you want me to throw? I can throw something.
Yeah. Throw a rock.
I throw a rock.
Okay. So the rock, actually, make a quick attack roll. Just
Absolutely.
Wait, not that hard.
So your string.
Probably
Kills the guy.
Just a dex roll.
One
or-
shot this villager. And
just
then after that,
your dagger.
he's dead.
Oh, okay. Roll the. So
We'll
go
treat it
to.
like it's a stone instead of a rock.
Scroll down
Yeah,
here.
Stone instead of a rock.
Gotcha.
I know you
Inventory.
meant.
Go to my dagger.
Dagger.
Click on the picture.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Roll it.
Go.
I think we did it right.
Oh boy.
Well
So-
done.
This stone soars over and into the crowd of people, and you hear just briefly over the sound of that voice yelling, this "ah!" and you see a very tall gentleman with a dark, short cropped beard look over and glance in your direction, just mean facing your party, but he turns. He seems to recognize you. Just shakes his head.
So we're here to interrupt this meeting. What's going on with you? Why are you shouting and hollering?
Right. So the tall gentleman that you see there, you notice that he is not the one who is yelling. You actually can't see the person who is yelling, but the voice sounds familiar. And after just a second, as Krusk is walking toward the group and speaking and stating that they need to interrupt things, you see the crowd part very deliberately, like the Red Sea parting, and a very angry young dwarf maiden is just burning face red, angry look, stomping towards you.
Oh no.
The crowd is parting deliberately to get out of her way.
I've seen this anger before.
You recognize her as Madeline Oakhammer.
Hey, Madeline. Shh. Calm down there.
I won't calm down. You don't understand. She had been walking as if she would have walked past you, and she turns to walk toward you, and just deliberately toward Krusk. And she looks at you, and she's kind of looking up at you and says, "My grandmother was kidnapped yesterday, and these idiots refuse to do anything about it. You four, you've been resourceful in the past. Taking on another job?
Yeah, but you're yelling a lot. My ears are kind of sensitive.
I don't know if you heard what I was saying, but my grandmother was kidnapped by kobolds yesterday, and
Whoa.
I don't know if somebody paid off the guards, or her voice raises even more as she's looking back over her shoulder and saying, or if these idiots are too incompetent to...
Listen, let's walk away from town and talk. So, how do you know it was kobolds? Come here. And I put my arm around her and I try to comfort her. And I look at Azora. Azora, just watch our backs, please.
Yeah, like I was gonna be near the front.
And
you notice that the crowd, seeing Madeline walk away from her confrontation from the guards, has kind of started to lose interest and started to disperse. And you see the two guards standing over by the gate, kind of shrugging, like, "What does she want us to do?" But she continues walking with you. Where do you lead her?
just out across back over the bridge. We're gonna go sit under a tree and chat for a second.
Okay, so over the bridge, across town, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, outside of town.
Yep. Just on the edge. All right, Madeline. We're here to listen. We don't need to be starting no trouble with the guards. What? So, first of all, let's start with, how do you know it's kobolds?
I was told there were witnesses. I don't understand how they can't figure this out. They keep saying that she's... and she just kind of buries her face in her hands, and you can see her shoulders start up and down. She's on the verge of losing her composure. And you know her to be a pretty tough character. But in this case, she's just on the brink.
Madeline, we'll help you. That's not the problem. The problem is I don't know where I'm going. So I need you to take a breath.
Okay. So she finally uncovers her hands, and you see her. She's not crying, but she's just red face, angry, and she does have what looks like tears welling up in her eyes. But she's tough. She's not letting it go. She's putting on a strong face, and she finally, with a calmer voice, says, I can't really talk about it right now, but I have a strong suspicion that she's been taken to an old dwarven ruin deep in the forest at the base of the mountain. I can mark it on your map. It's her ancestral home. Mine too, I suppose, but I was born after the catastrophe.
So wait, the kobolds took her to her ancestral home?
I think so. The witness said that there was a human man, an older gentleman. He sounds like a guy that I'd actually seen in town several times before, asking about the Everforge, asking about the flames, asking about the tragedy.
Well, I don't. That's great, but we'll go investigate the ruins and find her and bring her back. Well, what was her name again? I forgot.
Paula.
Paula. Yeemik, do you have the map for them to mark? You carry the map, right?
Yeah, it's probably somewhere around here. Hold on, just give me a second. Do I have the map?
You totally have a map.
One of you does. I don't
It may
carry the
not
map.
be on your character sheet, but you totally have a map.
Yeah,
It's
I got
in the
it.
other pocket. The other pocket, little master.
Thanks,
Or-
Snobby.
If you didn't, you guys have been adventuring in this region long enough that she would be able to give you a reasonable description of the pathway to get there, and it not be a major issue.
So I unroll the scroll that Knobby hands, or that Yeemik hands me. You wrote formulas on our map, Yeemik. Look, right? Is that what this is?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, I mean, it's still legible. So, all right. So
The formula is still
Madeline-
legible, right? Yeah.
Madeline, just mark on here where we're gonna find. And this nonsense about the other human. You're not asking us to do anything about him, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know anything about him, but the witnesses said that it was a gang of kobolds, that and there was an old human man with them, and they he was in town. He was asking a lot of questions about the ruins, about the Everforge, and I just have a feeling that that's where they are.
What happened there? What happened to this place?
It was before my time. I was not even born yet, but
Are we gonna get blown up? That's what I'm asking.
I mean, there's always a risk when I'm here, but
she
Exactly.
she actually looks over at Yeemik and just kind of grins a little. It's like, you mean more risk of that than you normally have had in your ventures?
We have it under control. Sometimes things happen and arrows and bombs fly, but it'll be. He scratches his backside. It'll be okay.
Krusk
Right,
takes
Azora?
it all.
We got this. I usually do. Yep, I run in there. But Azora, you're here to take it this time.
Sure.
And so, is there treasure there still? Not that we're not like treasure hunters or anything.
What?
We wouldn't take. No, we wouldn't take any
Okay.
treasures.
No, I mean now. No, never.
We wouldn't?
Shh.
So, if there are treasures, they have likely been looted by these kobolds. If that's where they're going, or that's where they reside, as I suspect.
Can I roll a recall knowledge on kobolds real quick?
Sure.
Roll
Hit me
like
with the Pathfinder.
hit you with some
mechanics here.
some
So
history or something.
yeah.
too many systems.
It's all good. Okay, yeah. What is there something in something specifically?
Yeah,
you trying to
kinda-
recall, or just in general.
In this area specifically, are they common, and are they a nuisance?
Yeah. So, in this region, they are not super common, but certainly not unheard of. The people of the town have come into contact with them from time to time. They typically dwell kind of in the foothills of the mountains to the to the west of town, and there's a trade route that Brimberg sits on that's between some dwarven settlements in the mountains and the coast, and the kobolds that have tended to settle in small cave systems at the base of the mountain have been a problem in the region over time. Not so much close to town, but along that trade route.
Well, Azora, I think that it would be beneficial for all of us to, including the towns, to remove the kobolds, even if Paul is not there.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Sure.
And I forgive me. I never truly answered your question, Azora. It was tragic. My grandmother was the only survivor. The forge there. I don't think anyone truly knows what happened, but a rift to the plane of fire was opened, and the entire forge and the settlement that had grown up around it was, let's just say, it's said that an Efreet burst through, and very few survived.
Do we know what that is? Do I know what that is?
You might, but Madeline does, and she would
Okay.
tell you if you asked. It is a powerful being of elemental fire. If you've heard of a genie or a djinn, that are typically associated with the elemental fire plane of air. Excuse me. The Efreet or Efreeti are the fire plane's equivalent of those creatures.
Great.
See, perspective. It makes what I do just so minor.
You will blow up. You realize that, right?
I mean, one should try.
Okay.
So as they're talking, you see Krusk kind of playing around with the plants and using his druid craft to just make them form and do different things. Trying to comfort a little bit, Madeline. On top of, he doesn't really care about the forge itself, so he was kind of, entertaining himself for a minute.
Gotcha. So you do see her kind of reach out at one of the vines or plants that's being formed through druidcraft, and just kind of strokes the stem of the whatever plant's being manipulated. And she knows you well enough to know that you're probably the one doing it, and she gives you a small grin. You can tell she's still visibly upset and angry at the situation, but also at the idea that she went to the guards and that nobody appears willing to help her. They are chalking this Everforge story up to legend, claiming it doesn't exist, and not really giving her the credit that she probably deserves. And you know that she is one of the newer inhabitants of the town, and so she doesn't have the long-standing reputation of some of the more common human inhabitants that grew up here. So she's here, but she's still kind of treated like an outsider.
Well, Madeline, we'll be back, I'm sure of it. Give us a couple of days at least, just in case.
Okay. All right. Is there anything you need before you go?
Mr. Krusk needs meat money.
Well, or at least meat. I mean, I don't need. Right, guys? We like meat.
I like everything.
Yeah.
Coins for the for supplies before you go, perhaps.
I mean, I wouldn't complain. I mean,
She kind of reaches into a coin purse at her side and produces 12 gold pieces and just hands them directly to Krusk, and says, I have little more than this at the moment. I could pay you more when you return, but I don't want you to wait. Please hurry.
Krusk hands the gold pieces to Azora and says, "All right, let's set off now. I mean, it's a beautiful day. This will be fine."
And you know, it's a based on where she pointed out on the map, it's a solid day or so of travel. So if you left literally right now, you would likely get there just at dusk, assuming no interesting issues along the way.
I mean, are you guys ready to go? We could rent
Yeah, sure.
horses, but
I don't think any interesting's
definitely-
going to happen till we get there.
sorry.
Nobody does not need a horse, Master Krusk.
No, you hop up here on my shoulder. We're good.
He just pats you on the head as he's sitting there. He absent-mindedly pats you, just like a kid on your shoulder or something.
Yeah, like the
I
random
love
patting.
that.
Yeah.
I'm picturing Knobby like a cross between Pinocchio and Dobby.
Oh,
Am I
something kind
picturing
of like that. Yeah, for those listening, he's a very old Leshy, so he has tattered leather robes and a little pack he carries around, but he's got this huge beard and eyebrows that all connect together with this long nose, and he's made of cedar, so he's really red. And that beard and nose and hair are they were probably brighter green when he was younger, but they've got that white fuzz that gets under certain leaves, and that makes it all look white, and little bitty flowers are all in it. So yeah, that's what he looks like to the listeners.
I love it.
Love it.
Very, very cool.
Well, let's head off now, guys. I mean, we got a map that's relatively legible, and I mean, unless you need to buy something. I mean, Azora, that's 12 gold for you.
I don't know. I mean,
Nobby will make berries if you want to spend it on something else.
Yeah, I knew we'd be okay in the woods between you and I, right?
yeah.
Yep.
I'm just wondering, mountains, climbing. We have climbing stuff, right?
I can help with that too.
Okay.
We'll whip something together real quick.
I have some climbing
We'll
stuff.
we can just blow some holes in the side of the mountain, right?
I can do that too. Yeah, sure.
Into the fire mountain, where the fire will come out.
Yeah, but if it's fire, then it's not combustible. It's already on fire, so probably fine.
Okay.
But maybe we should buy a climbing kit, is what you're saying.
I have one.
Oh, well, we're good.
Okay.
Well, Madeline, and I give her a hug. Well, one of us will be back probably, hopefully. And with that, he turns and walks off.
She starts to hug you back, and there's like an awkward moment where you're walking away, and her arm goes out, and it just brushes against your back. Like, oh, okay.
As she turns over, Azora will grab her shoulder, and she's huge because she's a dragonborn. She's like,
You'll be fine.
then she'll walk on.
She just
It's her
nods.
compassion.
Her
Thank
compassion.
you.
Nobby just waves bye-bye.
And she waves back at Knobby.
Yeemik's too busy writing something on some paper and trying to keep up.
She starts to walk back over the bridge and just kind of calls out over her shoulder, Yeemik, don't blow them up. I need them to return with Paula.
Oh. Okay. I'll do my best.
And then she departs back over the bridge and to the right, back toward her shipwright business.
Awesome.
And you guys can get on the road. Is there... We mentioned the possibility of climbing kit. Do you want to pause and do that, or do we want to go ahead and hit travel sequence here?
It's up to you guys. I have climbing gear.
Yeah, you have climbing gear. I can make... I think one of my infusions, one of my schematics is
Yeah.
climbing.
Schematics.
Yeah, go to... scroll down.
And I can turn into a giant
Yeah.
goat who also has climbing. So I that is...
Potion of climbing.
I'm excited to hop up the side of mountains as a goat.
do you guys
And
want me
Nobby
to...
just rides Krusk, so...
Okay, we'll be fine.
So I can ride you, or should I whip something up real quick? It takes me a little bit.
Yeah, no, whip something up.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I'll whip up if I can do it on the road. I'll whip up a portion of climbing for my schematics.
Sure. So on the road, you guys set out toward the west as a group, and you know that there are pathways and different untended roads that crisscross these wild woods to the west of the city. Most of them are used by hunters and trappers and are not maintained. There are game trails and things of that sort, but you're essentially traveling through wilderness. And as you travel, you can follow the map and continue along the way, heading in the direction of the ruins that Madeline pointed out to you. And as you go, if I can get... Now, I'm straying a little bit from A5E here, because there are some legit, like, exploration rules.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm going to kind of gloss over a bit of that, even though I want to explore those at some point in the future. But we're going to gloss over it a bit and just say, can I get every player to make a either perception or survival check along the way as we travel?
Mm.
And let me know. I also know this is kind of a baseline for...
Oh no!
Nice, Azora.
Can I spend a hero
What are you
point?
doing?
No.
Perception.
That's all right. That's why
Yeah.
that's why Knobby's always riding on top. He has to make sure Master Krusk get where he needs to go.
All right.
I can
So-
flavor that nat 1 for you real quick, Jacob.
I would love you to.
Not Yeemik's been scribbling, and you catch that Vistra told him to take journal notes, and he's noted your interactions with the dwarven maiden.
And I picked up on it. Yes.
Yeah, that's just a little Easter egg for you, buddy.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
She wanted me to practice my writing, and I thought it was an important moment. It was so great.
Yeah, practice writing. Yep. Mm-hmm. He's
Look,
groveling.
Master Krusk, it says warm hug.
Yes. And flower. I saw the word flower.
She'll love it. It shows you gentle
I saw
heart.
something. Master Krusk probably might want to reword the stroking Master Krusk's fine.
Yeah. Yeemik, could you cross that one out?
Oh yeah, all right.
Oh, I walked into that one myself. that was my bad. My bad, y'all. All right.
That's great. Nat 1.
It goes along with the nat 1.
Azora's ignoring
But,
you all and walking in the back, probably, but still scanning.
Right.
I love it.
So
Okay.
where are we going? Azora, I'm a little lost and disoriented.
As you travel, you make your way pretty easily along the way, at least for the first leg of the journey. Is there... I know that Yeemik is specifically trying to build a climbing kit from his schematics as you travel. Is there anything that the other characters would like to be doing as you approach or as you make your way toward the ruins?
I was gonna say foraging for just delicious goodies, but
Okay. Cool. Knobby or Azora?
If I see something, I'll shoot it. Or throw an axe at it.
You know, when you played in the Fallout game, if I see the bird, I'm going to shoot it.
I
Didn't
know.
really work out.
No,
real
it didn't
well.
work out. I shouldn't have done it.
She's still gonna
No
do it now
birds.
anyway. No birds.
So shooting anything non-bird
Yeah, we'll
that,
throw an axe because I can't shoot.
Okay. I mean, that sounds legit. I like it. Okay. Is and Knobby along the way is doing what?
Knobby is actually pretty smart for being. He's so old and he's pretty smart and stuff, and knows a lot. So he might be trying to recall any legends that would be appropriate information for the group to know. If it's appropriate information, he'll tell them. Otherwise, he's just kind of, kind of humming to himself.
All right. So, have Knobby make a quick history check.
All right.
All right, 21. Okay.
Nice.
Cool. So with that, Navi remembers hearing about this specific dwarven forge and location, and recalls that this event with the Ifrit and it being destroyed and essentially wiped off the map, except for what ruins lay behind, happened at least 100 years ago, and likely more than that. This is distant history in the minds of the humans of the area. So much so that generations have passed, and this area of the wilderness is far enough off of the trade routes that nobody's bothered to go out there and explore. And the reaction of the humans of just calling this legend and sort of dismissing it kind of checks out with their approach to the story, with the way that it's perceived in the town. It's also, you also recall that that even though there was a town that had been built up around this, but that rumor has it, or had it at one point, that the forge itself, or the hall where the forge was located, mostly survived. And that even though the surrounding village was razed, that the one structure that was kind of inset in the mountain side was more or less intact. So the idea that there is a ruin to go to and explore is also likely legitimate, if the stories are to be believed.
Okie dokie. He'd probably rephrase that in something of a song as they were going along. His singing is kind of like a
100 years have come and gone, 100 years for humans,
and on and on and on. And
down deep, the forge said to be, says it's still there, does legend, but not for sure to see.
Or, kind of limericky or something like that. His singing is with his voice, but because he's made of wood, because he's a fleshy, I imagine that as he pushes air through, it almost has a fluty kind of sound to it as he's singing.
And I think Krusk has been around it enough now that he kind of hums along while listening. It kind of just fits.
Nice bass to the whole thing.
Kind of thing where the lyrics change every time, but the tune is close enough that Russ can keep following no matter what.
Or make it up.
Or make it up.
And just
All
as
right.
the song ends, Azora two-hand throws an axe and kills something.
more meat for Master Krusk!
Sorry, Matthew.
Was that a rabbit?
I love it.
All right.
What a peaceful traveling time. Thank you, guys.
Indeed. Yes, so we actually, we're going to, as I said, sort of pass over this bit, but we will say that Yeemik has successfully crafted with his schematics a climber's kit. So we now have 2 of those in the party, plus a goat and a party member small enough to ride if needed. So climbing hazards are less likely to be an issue moving forward. We will say, as you travel, who is carrying the majority of your foodstuffs? Is that
Me?
Yeah.
Probably me.
probably Azora?
Yeah.
All right. So, Azora, as you travel through these woods, you carrying the supply that you have with you that you've kind of taken on for the party, because these little folks, right, they need some help carrying things. So, but you are walking through and you start feeling itchy, like there's something wrong, and it's weird because normally, like, Dragonborn got those thick scales, and you're used to seeing all the human folk with their slapping around at mosquitoes and stuff, and you start thinking, like, this is like, what is this? What is going on? But you realize that the itchiness is coming from near your bag or your pouch with your supply.
She won't make a big deal, but she'll take the bag around to see what's happening as they're walking.
Okay. So as you pull the bag around and twist it around to your front so you can kind of get a better look at it while you're walking, you notice a roach about the size of your fist jump off of the bag.
Ah! Ah!
And
Is that
you-
Kristen?
Both.
Oh,
What's
no.
your problem?
We should have talked about the safety tools. Roaches are off the table. Sorry. No.
No, we want the visceral reaction.
Roach.
But you,
Ah!
Oh,
No, it's
they're
Yeemik.
edible. They're like a creamy potato chip.
so you notice the roach jump off of your supply, and as you react to it, you look over and you realize that there's another one climbing. You see it like half in and half out of the bag.
Ah!
There is a horde, not a horde because these are big. They're like the size of your fist. Maybe not Azora's fist. Maybe a smaller fist. But these are big roaches. These aren't your normal little regular town roaches. These are big. And they are eating your supply. They've gotten into your supply. Not only yours, but as the rest of the party sees Azora reacting, you know that feeling when you see somebody, when you hear somebody talk about lice, and then all of a sudden everybody is scratching their head because everybody's paranoid? Everybody just instinctually looks down at their pack, and you're like, oh, it's not just her. We're
She's stomping
we're
on
kind of in
him.
bed.
I try to grab one.
Krusk's meat!
So what we're moving into is actually an exploration challenge.
Sweet.
A nasty horde of bugs has broken into your provisions and is beginning to eat them. These bugs need to be dealt with quickly, or you're going to run out of supply. And that's not going to be a problem getting to the forge. But if your resident druid is not successful with his forge, it would be a problem coming home. You would be hungry. So,
Okay.
what would you like to do in order to attempt to deal with these bugs? It can be any creative solution. You can name a skill. You can describe an action that's not necessarily associated with skill. We'll come up with something that fits. But what would you like to do in response to this revelation?
I want to roll nature, like based off of my farming skill of preservation of food and dealing with roaches, and also the fact that they are delicious. So, but I want to roll nature on like how to handle them quickly. Is there like a particular flower in the area, or maybe I have it on me to be able to ward them off, or like 7 dust sprinkle them on, or something along those lines?
That sounds fair. Yeah.
No, come on.
No! What is that?
No. Natty 1.
Dude, when I'm a GM, it's
I know.
nat 20s all night long. When I'm
I was
playing,
like,
it's
you
nat
can't
1.
be a
I can't.
player.
I can't. I'm done. No.
All right.
Get it out now
So-
before the boss.
Krusk is trying to figure out, like, what would I do about these? Unfortunately, the best in this moment with these bugs swarming over your food, the best solution you can come up with is if I eat them faster than they eat the food, maybe.
That is a very
I've-
Krusk solution.
I've got a feeling that Krusk might not see that as a nat 1, but the rest of the party would be like, oh, that was totally a crit fail as far as an idea.
No.
Yep, so Krusk is over there trying to bite him.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Other party members. Other ideas.
Do you know what you're gonna do?
I think so.
Okay.
Do I assume we will have time to rest before we get to the mountain?
A short rest for sure.
Perfect. Because I want to use my dragon breath, which is a electricity, and I want
Okay.
to scatter around and shock all of them in one big.
Okay.
I gotta
All
roll
right.
it.
So
Okay. Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
go ahead and
What do I
roll
do?
your dragon breath. And
Is
you're
that what it
hitting-
does? Do I roll
It's,
something else?
No, actually, it's they would have to roll a save. And
Okay.
these are small enough that that they would die even if they make the save for half. So I'm not gonna.
That's funny.
But
She's gonna
So-
like it's gonna come out as a snort. Like she's gonna snort and electricity's just gonna go out of her. Zap them all. As many as she can.
I think you
Fucking
right a
snot.
little. Yeah.
Yes.
so Azora manages to cleanse her her supply of roaches. They all just like they've all been tased, and you see them kind of fall off the side. There were at least 5 of these within and around your bag, and you see some of them fall off. You wonder how much of the food itself might be charred at this point, but it's gotta be better than
Yeah,
than
I think
roaches.
so.
It's like pre-cooked. It's like a pre-cooked meal at this point.
I like a little
So,
char in my food.
Yeah, for sure. So other party members.
Man, I think Yeemik's kind of I think he's inspired by Krusk, but he thinks they'd taste better toasted.
Mine are.
Yeah, maybe he's inspired by both you guys. Oh, so we're having a snack right now. That's what it's on. Okay, I can do this. I think he's just gonna start using his firebolt cantrip, but for him, it's this little pull-out flamethrower sort of thing. He's just gonna start trying to roast them indiscriminately.
All right. So you successfully roast some roaches, and in a similar vein, you have managed to save your food stuff, although some of it is a little pre-cooked. Is Knobby taking part in the
Well,
festivities? here?
Knobby's very upset that they got into Master Krusk's food. So he doesn't usually get very mad, but he's mad at these things because they're not supposed to be in the food. It's Master Krusk food. And mechanically I would like to use the cantrip Voice of the Woods. But
Okay.
which for those watching, I've reflavored Dragon Roar from Kobold Press, I think it was.
I believe
Wherever
that
it
was.
was.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I don't remember exactly what supplement it was, but it's from their OGL site.
So there you go if you're looking for it. And so it doesn't do it this time very heavily, but usually when he uses it, there's this rumbly kind of noise that happens in the woods around him, all the plants around him, and it gets kind of shadowy and they start to move towards whatever's bothering him. But since it's just these things, it's not really that pronounced, and it's not really that shaded or dark, but he's over there yelling at them and getting them off and throwing them away and stuff like that. But the cantrip does 1d4 psychic damage if they fail a save. But he has to look. He's scolding each and individual one of them because it's a single target thing. So he's pointing at one at a time.
Right. So he just down. Is that I'm trying to call? Is that psychic damage?
Yes.
Is that right? I thought it was. I just couldn't remember off the top of my head. All right. So we have overall a success for the party as the voice of the wood, as Knobby's forceful voice. You see these cockroaches just fall over and turn with their hands up in the air. No visible damage to them at all, but just he spoke and cockroach brains exploded, and it was glorious. And so
One at a time, though. Like,
Yeah.
yes,
And every time one died, he'd stuff it in a bag so that Krusk could eat it later.
like chips.
Yes.
Okay,
That's awesome.
So with that, you have destroyed all the pests that were attempting to take over and consume your food supply, and you've managed to successfully defeat this exploration challenge without losing any actual supply. You could have lost, just to full transparency, because we're testing a new system here, new to us. You could have done well enough to have a critical success and deal with the pests without losing supply, and also get a roll on a cool discoveries and boons table. Or you could have gone as bad as a critical failure and not only lost some, but lost literally all of your supply and been completely dependent on foraging or what have you to replenish your supply on the way back to town. But yeah, if this was not a one shot, I would award experience for this. This is legit. All right, very, very, very cool responses there, y'all. The rest of the journey goes luckily uneventfully. We'll say there was a point where a deer jumped out across the path, and we'll say Azora has the chance to hold the axe and not throw it. Would she throw it anyway?
She would.
Okay.
Meet the Master Krusk.
Krusk would most definitely be encouraging her.
Right. So you managed to Krusk probably has his pick of a deer that is has been slain in the path ahead of you. If he would choose to partake of that in some way.
Yes.
Quarter.
I might even go into quarter it out. Go into bear form too, and just like gnaw on it a little bit, just get some fresh deliciousness going.
Not be pushing him away. Like,
Mr. Krusk, no, must make it better for you. Must make it better.
But the back straps are so good.
Mr. Krusk.
That's getting so good.
Azora will just walk with a leg for a little while. Want some?
Knobby
sure.
can
He
carry
shaves
quite a
some
bit
off.
for being so small, so he would probably carry as much as he could for Master Krusk.
A good helper indeed. All right. So between the battle with the giant cockroaches and the slain deer on the way, you actually arrive with the potential to have more supply than you started with. Some of it pre-cooked, which is it's okay, you know, and some of it slightly gnawed on by the bear, but that's okay too. And a bag of roach chips for snack time. But you do manage to make your way through the remainder of the journey, and as you approach the mountain range, you notice, or you know, that dusk actually falls a little earlier here because you're kind of in the shadow of the mountain as the sun sets in the west. And it's around dinner time when you finally rise over a hill and see out ahead of you the rise, a much steeper rise, and also you see the foundations of some buildings where the buildings themselves have long since deteriorated, been razed to the ground. But you can see the different shapes inset in the ground where the foundations of those buildings have survived over the 100+ years since the town fell. And up inset in the where the hill rises, and you see that elevation change, and the beautiful mountain rises above behind it with forests all the way up. You see a small, sorry to say wooden, a small stone doorway that is flanked by two dwarven statues, one on the left, one on the right. And there is a space where there was at one point a door, but it has since fallen, and looks like it the remnants of that door are just scattered off to the side in front of it. And beyond, you can see what looks like just the hint of what might be torchlight flickering from within. And at this point, it's a good 100 or more feet away from you. There's some trees here and there in between you and it, but you don't immediately see any other activity.
How tired are we feeling?
I
Not in
feel
real
good.
life, Dan.
In game terms,
Yeah.
in game terms, you've walked a full day. You had the opportunity to take a short rest, kind of as you traveled to get to this point. We won't belabor that point, but you haven't, aside from a brief time where you were trying to fight off oversized bugs, you haven't done anything extraordinarily strenuous.
Okay.
So, about how you would feel at dinner time. It's been a
hungry.
day. You've been walking, probably hungry, but you got several hours left in you. Unless you're just a super early to bedtime kind of fella.
Does anybody else see the light up there? I can't. Can I roll perception to see if I actually make out the light really well?
Sure.
Good, because I rolled it.
Yeah.
That's my night.
Dude.
It's my night. It's my night.
Knobby will roll to help since Master Krusk pointed it out.
Get Mush to blow a kiss on your keyboard or something.
What is this?
This is why Master Krusk needs help.
Yes.
He gets shot in the butt.
Well, that does
Happened.
happen. Yes.
I'll have to hear that story later.
Yeah.
And it was true love ever after.
Yes, it was. Love it first stab.
In any case, so Krusk can make out the kind of outline. At this point, you're in the shadow of the mountain. The sun has set on the other side of it, so you're in the shadow of that. You're not. It's not officially sunset, but here it kind of feels like it. You've got. It's pretty easy to make out that light in that beyond that door. That said, Krusk is looking and just not really making out a lot more detail. But Knobby, as he zeroes in on that doorway, he can tell that there's at least one figure that moves across, and you can see he spots the shadow that a figure makes as it crosses between the doorway itself and the light source that's deeper within that hallway or that entrance. You only spot one, and it's only a glimpse from this far away, but there is activity there beyond just firelight.
Knobby sees someone in there. And someone's in there, Master Krusk. Someone alive.
Did they look kaboddy, or like how well did you see in there? Because I'm hungry and I'm not perceiving this well.
It was shadowy. I told you I should have made that deer better. I'm not supposed to eat it before I get to it, Master
I was
Krusk.
so hungry. Now you're nagging me.
So Knobby would know with that 26 perception that because he only saw the shadow and not knowing how far that figure was from the light source beyond it, that it could have been very small and casting a very large shadow if it were farther back. It could also have been closer to the entrance and much bigger, but casting the same size shadow, just depending on its relation. Without seeing the figure itself, it's hard to tell much more detail. And it was just a split second that it crossed paths.
Just a shadow, Master Krusk. Couldn't tell.
Well, Azora, Yeemik,
Yep.
Knobby, let's go say hello.
Oh, you just want to go in or something? I was going to look around for tracks or something. Yeah, I see. Or we just, yeah, let's just go in.
Yeah. No, wait. Well, no. You know, you're probably right. Let's look for traps.
Oh, traps too would be good. Yeah, sure.
Oh, did you say tracks?
Yes.
Oh, I heard traps.
I heard traps too.
We should
What?
probably look
Why does
for
everyone
both.
always has trouble understanding what I'm saying? I work really hard. I'm missing my friend.
You're doing
Susie.
great. V said you're doing really well with pronunciation.
Oh, thanks. I'll check for all of it. Yeah, let's do this.
What are you doing?
I'm going to check for traps with a P, because I assume Azora's probably doing the tracker.
So perception?
All right,
Or
yeah. So,
Whatever the boss says.
okay.
well, so if you are standing back and trying to look for the traps from a distance, perception is the better choice. If you are kind of mind sweeping, so to speak, and you are stepping into the space and looking at it with a much closer lens with a lot more detail, then that would be more an investigation check.
Yeah, unless the party stops him, he's going to head right in.
You have investigation. You want to do that?
Yeah, that would also be, unless people don't want him walking in yet, that's what he would innately do. I just go in there and take a look around, smell things. And
Sure,
taste them.
investigating. Okay.
Be sneaky.
Sure.
Do you want me to roll stealth too?
That's up to the
Can
boss,
he?
I guess.
Does Yeemik want to be stealthy as he approaches the door?
I guess, yeah, if Knobby told him to, he does what he's told. To him, Krusk and Knobby are just kind of the same entity.
All right. 18s all around, it seems. So, Yeemik moving forward. There you are. So as Yeemik moves forward and approaches the door, he gets to see more detail than you were able to make out when you first crested that hill and spotted the firelight off in the distance. As you approach, you see that the entrance is partially obscured by thick layers of moss and vines that have grown up over this stone archway. The door itself is made of large, worn, and you see those two big stone statues on either side of it. Each has a weapon in hand, and they're so lifelike. The artistry there is just amazing. As you're approaching, you're checking things out. You're looking for traps. You're trying to spot any tripwires or anything that would lead to your demise as you approach. And he doesn't spot anything. You feel pretty comfortable that if traps are present, they're not here at the entryway.
Big thumbs up from Yeemik.
All right, Azora, let's get in there. Come on.
Okay. Try to be as quiet as possible.
Okay. So if Jacob, Kristen, thank. Oh, gotcha.
No, we were just having a little RP on the side. We were just being goofy.
Oh, it's all good. I just saw it, and I was like, "Oh, what's the?" No, I see. Anyway, so we have the party now approaching behind Yeemik. Azora is being stealthy. Are the other members also being stealthy as they approach?
Krusk would not be, but Krusk would also allow Azora and Yeemik to approach, kind of watching the surroundings, see if anything kind of jumps out.
Okay. And is Knobby still up on the shoulder?
Knobby would probably be hanging either sitting on the shoulder or on the backpack and trying to coach Master Krusk through all the sneakiness that he's wanting him to do, whether he ends up doing it or not, or trying to.
I'm not sneaky. I just I could try. I'll give it a try.
Yeah, you're trying. You're trying.
You can take an inspiration dice.
Not
I
that
think.
sneaky.
Well, I mean, rolled a nat 19, so
There it is.
All right.
like this. And he's like tiptoeing.
Yeah. So he's coaching him.
I mean, I usually do this in bear form. I'm much more sneakier, actually.
And Azora's getting annoyed and she's like,
Master
quiet.
Krusk.
Quiet.
All right. So as you approach, the entire party moving along quite stealthily, let's see. Let me rearrange these a little bit so that Yeemik and Azora are up front. But you manage to make it to the door itself. No traps have been sprung, and as you approach and you're able to get a better look inside past those two dwarven statues, you don't see any activity. You can spot deeper in the room, or deeper into this space, torches along this long hallway that's spread out ahead of you, with more similar statues of dwarves on either side of the hallway, just intermittently. They don't appear to be in a particular pattern, but this hallway goes a long distance, and there are doors on either side of it as well. And we're going to actually flip over to a new map so you can see this long hallway ahead. And technically, y'all are about 10 feet back from where your tokens are positioned. At this point, you've come up to the door and are able to look in. You don't see any movement inside at the moment.
Tokens might not
Says my
have
token
vision.
does not have vision.
Tokens don't have vision? Oh, no. That's not cool.
It's very dark in there.
Here's
Hey,
I
weird,
knew
yeah, these
there
torches.
would be something
It's
that
all
I
good.
didn't
You
pick.
said it.
Yeah, no. So Krusk in this moment is going to be whispering, should we knock? Like this isn't
No, Master
ours.
Krusk. No, Master Krusk. No.
Oh,
No knock.
oh.
Your
Wait,
voice
Del?
on the ground.
No. We're being sneaky, Master Krusk. Sneaky.
But I don't want to. I mean,
This is not the
not-
kobolds either, Master Krusk.
I'm not hunting.
You're hunting kobolds, Master Krusk.
Oh, Azora, we're hunting kobolds.
Yeah, of course.
So be sneaky.
Oh,
Tell
trying.
Yeemik. Tell Yeemik.
be
What?
sneaky.
Okay. I try. You're doing great.
Krusk is like gently reaching for a honk of the deer that they harvested earlier. A little piece, a little hunk. Just like nibbling on it nervously.
I see a
right.
hallway.
Hopefully now you can see a hallway. That's great. Right. Sorry about that, y'all. And I was smart enough to change the prototype token so that if we need to move maps, it'll carry over.
Very nice.
Oh,
Nice.
cool.
All right.
So did we
That said,
did we
go ahead.
come in that door?
So there is actually a door just behind you,
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
and you are technically not standing in the location you are now.
Oh, okay, cool.
You are just off the map,
Okay.
looking into this hallway, and you have not technically stepped into the room yet. This long hallway stretches out before you. You can see these statues on either side of the passage. There are doors to your left, to your right, just spread out intermittently as you go down the way. The floor is cracked and broken, and you can see this huge set of double doors at the very far end of the hallway. Although, yes, yeah, you should be able to see that.
What is the light in here? Sorry.
There are torches spread out intermittently as well that set.
Do they look like ever burning or they're maintained?
They, well, actually, there is the closest one to you is up here.
Okay.
There's one on the side of these doors across the way from each other.
Okay.
And if you'd like to look a little closer, you're welcome to go up and inspect.
You want me to go up and look at that thing?
Yeah, if you don't mind, you're
Okay.
nice and small.
So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I'm gonna go look.
You're gonna go this one? Oops, I'm moving things. What did I do?
A boomity boom. I am explosive.
How do I move you again? I pick you up and drag you. There you go. Now you're moving. Are you going
So
up?
if you're explosive, does that mean that Yeemik is one of those Magic the Gathering goblins that are on the cards that you just throw out as tokens and they explode?
That's
Don't know
Missed
about that.
opportunity.
So that's the first one.
Yeah,
You
I'll take a look at that, see what we got working here. What do you got?
All right, so Yeemik moves forward, checks it out, and Yeemik's good enough with alchemy and magical items to recognize without even a roll that this is a traditional maintained torch, not one that is magically persistent in some way.
It's a boring one.
It is kind of set in the wall in there's like a metal sconce that leads out of the wall, and the torch is set into it. Very stereotypical of a dwarven passage here.
These two doors on our sides, do they look like they're locked or been opened and closed or anything like that? Habitually?
So all of the doors that you can see down this hallway are currently closed. They all are actually heavy. They look to be stonework that are set in these beautiful, or not beautiful, but at least very functional and hinges that have stood the test of time, just as you would imagine dwarven architecture would. And there is a ring that you can pull them. Hard to tell from here whether they are locked or not without actually trying them.
Knobby,
Yes, Master Krusk.
can you hear anything through the door? And he points to the door.
Knobby will listen.
He'll put his big leaf ear up to the door.
Perception check.
I assume that's perception check.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ooh.
Right.
Knobby rolls hot.
Yes.
Dirty 20. All right.
Now,
So,
Knobby must take care of Master Krusk and the Little Master and the Dragon Mistress.
with a 20, you hear what sounds like something small and scurrying. Having been around your druid friend and spending enough time in the wilderness, you imagine that this might be a small rat or lizard, something that's likely small and innocuous. Innocuous. I think that's the right use for that word, but
Nothing interesting, Master Krusk. Just scurrying thing.
Food?
We have food.
You have your deer.
Yeah, that's right. And so he would walk over to the other door with Knobby. And as he did so, he would nod at Yeemik and be like, what kind of torch was it?
It's just a regular torch. I mean,
Oh.
must be pretty fresh. I don't think they last very long. Probably a couple hours, maybe max.
And there's no footprints or anything obvious of activity, correct?
you actually take the time to check the floor and look around. You do see footprints. It's less that there are individual footprints and more that it looks like this is a surprisingly heavily trafficked area. There's a lot of dust and debris in this hallway, but it is all kind of up against the walls. And there are very clear pathways between the doors and along the center of the room.
So there's a clear pathway that they've been walking into the room before me.
Yes, the exception to that is actually the room where Knobby just heard the scurrying on the opposite side. That door appears to have been mostly unused.
Yeemik, get over here.
Yep. Okay. Hi.
Krusk opens the door as he says it.
All right.
There it goes.
I don't know. I can't move.
So you open the door and peer into the next room, where you see two large throne-like seats carved into the north wall. The room is otherwise pretty bare. There are frescoes depicting dwarves presenting radiant weapons to guests, almost as if this were a receiving chamber and guests would come here to be given gifts as they arrived.
I would sit in one of the chairs.
Right.
Master Krusk, oh.
You sit down in the chair.
Nobby doesn't want sit on, so he's not on his back while he's sitting on the chair.
You sit in the chair and
Just in case something happens.
only Krusk hears this, but Krusk hears this deep, booming voice that seems to echo from throughout the chamber. that says, "Do you come to cleanse the evil that has infested these halls?"
Yes.
Yes, what?
Who are you talking to?
Yes.
You don't hear a response at all.
Uh,
However,
go ahead.
you do glance down and note that, let's see, what is your sickle is, it kind of hums briefly, like it's, to put it in modern terms, it's as if your cell phone was in your pocket vibrating. It's just this brief humming of energy, and the sickle at your side just vibrates for a moment.
I pull the sickle forth and I hold it before me and I study it as I'm sitting on the chair, and then I stand up and see if it still seems to have that energy.
So it does.
Oh, and I sit back down.
Nothing happens this time.
Yeemik, it's one of those chairs you read about in the fantasy magazines that they vibrate and they help you feel better. Come sit next to me.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll do it.
I knew you would. Come on, buddy.
Somehow, I will get it. Go.
Knobby's just kind of wringing his hands a little bit. He's like,
When others come and sit in the chair, there is no similar response.
What do you mean you didn't hear anything?
I didn't hear anything.
Come on. It was loud.
No, I mean, you were loud. You're always
Yeah.
loud, though.
What are you talking about?
Touch my sickle.
Scribbles in his notebook.
Touch it.
Whatever.
Oh, I thought
Knobby,
he was
what's
talking to
going
you.
on?
Yeah, sure. I'll grab his sickle.
You're right there.
I don't know.
Knobby, what's going on down there?
I just see rubble down here, Master Krusk. It's not good to hear voices in your head.
It wasn't in my head. Don't start.
everybody made the same noise.
If Knobby will make a perception check real fast as he approaches this back chamber with all the rubble.
Okey-dokey.
Oh,
I had to get one at some point. He's too concerned about Master Krusk. He's like, no, Master Krusk.
love it.
There's so as they ask you what's going on back there, you do notice there's rubble all over the place. This you do see some racks and some what look like old trunks and cases that have been busted open that are among the rubble there. It looks like it's all been sifted through already or looted at some point in the past. But otherwise,
Just seems they've already looted this part.
You see any old dwarven ladies named Paula?
No, I do not, Master Krusk.
So can I access that back room? Like, is it walkable through the rubble?
Yeah, there is rubble kind of piled up around the floor, but it's maybe a foot high. It does look like this was at one point a doorway that someone or something broke the surrounding frame of the door.
I
so
grab
that
Knobby.
it widened.
I grab Knobby and I lift him up, and I, with two arms, I pull him around the corner of the room. Do you see anything?
Where?
I guess I'd look again.
I'm trying to put him on in his head in the room while holding him.
Oh, gotcha.
So I would grab him.
Ah, my face!
You just get shot with an arrow and it's sticking out.
So Krust is climbing up into the rubble. It's not very high. I mean, it's maybe a foot worth of stone and things that are lying about the ground there.
Yeah,
easy,
so then
easy to walk over.
then I'll grab Knobby and like literally lift him up around the corner to see around the wall.
Okay. So he sees around the wall. It doesn't appear to be anything more than what he was able to make out earlier. There are no torches back here, so it's a little darker, but Dobby has dark vision, right? No, maybe not.
Knobby, let me see.
I
He's a
thought he did,
construct, technically.
but I
I
don't
don't see it.
I
I
don't
can
either.
see
No,
pretty
it doesn't
good
show any
text.
special senses.
Okay. So it is darker back here, which might explain why he was only able to make out a handful of things kind of over on this side.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't rolling 2 ones.
There's nothing. Come on, let's go. And he walks out with Knobby in tow.
Okay.
Okay.
Come on, guys. Oh,
So as
uh-oh.
Krusk gets to the hallway itself,
That
he
was
actually
GM Jake
hears-
laughing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He suddenly
I-
realized.
Like, oh, he paused the game.
Yeah.
About to go down.
Made me giggle.
So as Krusk approaches the doorway, he hears, because it's not nobody's trying to be stealthy here. He hears this chattering from somewhere down the hallway. You haven't exited the room and into the main hallway at this point, but as you approach that door, you hear voices ahead of you. And they are speaking a language that you don't understand.
Of course they are.
But they're kind of high pitched.
I throw my hand up.
Response.
Now
Okay.
stop.
To pause everyone behind you.
Yeemik, do you stop?
Yeah, no, I'm laughing because Yeemik totally would have done the same thing, but then he looks back, he's like, oh yeah, I'm in the back. He just likes feeling a part of the gang.
Knobby! Knobby, do you hear that? Knobby hears something?
I assume Knobby could hear it if he was told to listen. Or if it was pointed out.
Yeah, he could. He could.
Is this where I say hello? No. Wait a minute, Master Krusk. Wait, be patient.
All right. So as Knobby approaches, he does understand the language that is being spoken down the hallway. Knobby recognizes very clear Draconic. And I'm going to have Knobby make a perception check, not to see whether or not he can understand it, but how much of the conversation he can pick up from his current position without stepping out in the hallway and being in better earshot.
Gotcha.
Okay. So a 16. So while you do miss out on some of the particulars of the conversation, Knobby can make out that they are discussing something to the effect of being annoyed with the new guest. And they mention something about a meal for the master.
They's annoyed with new guest, meal for master. They're probably going to try and feed the dwarf woman to some master they have. That's what I think.
if it ends up being a dragon, Killian's gonna be so upset he wasn't here.
Yeah, let's not tell him.
Scratches it out of the notebook.
I'm telling you.
Writes it again.
So you can also hear, as they're having this conversation, you can hear the voices growing quieter, as if they are moving away from you.
They're moving away, Master Krusk. Now is the time to move to the next position. Quietly.
Oh. You want to go out there?
What? Yeah, Knobby can. Knobby will do as Master Krusk wants.
And
Yeah,
he
I'll go
will
out there.
quietly step out.
He
Kinda-
takes him
kinda-
from.
Grabs Yeemik's as he gets set down. He kind of grabs Yeemik's hand, and we kind of sneak out.
So excited.
So who's sneaking out? Yeemik and
Knobby.
The little
Knobby
ones.
together.
The ones.
If you'll make a stealth check as you step out into the hallway for me, each of you.
Mm-hmm.
Not very good.
Oh.
Nat 20 on the
That wasn't
board.
bad, though. All right. So luckily, these creatures
So
have a
excited.
pretty low perception. So you step out in the hallway, and I'll go ahead and move the two characters out here. You can spot up to the north, there is a group of kobolds that are walking from the right-hand side of the hallway across the hall and into an open door here on the side. And they are turned and they're moving in that direction. They do not appear to spot you as you step out into the hallway.
Mm. Well, it won't let me move Overwatch into the room.
Wait, what?
The Overwatch icon, so I can so the map can have vision.
Oh,
You collided with the wall. You gotta go up and over, right?
Yeah, it just won't let me move. Wait, maybe if
That
I
is-
no.
The
There he
server's a
goes.
smidgen delayed.
I was gonna say it wasn't letting me move either. So
I did
it's-
notice that
I'm-
too.
I'm monitoring. We got a slight delay in the server. They got something going on.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Good to know.
There we go. Beautiful.
It's not an our end thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
There they
they're
are.
great.
So I'll point that out again for those on the stream. There is a group of kobolds up here that are crossing the hallway from right to left and moving into this open doorway. They do not appear to have
Knobby,
noticed the guests that have just stepped out in the hall.
Really awesome.
Knobby holds up 6 fingers.
On one hand,
Well, no. He's probably got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He holds up 6 fingers. He's got 3 on the here, and then the thumb. So he holds up 6 fingers.
Should we do something? Okay.
So do you want to
Hey,
do
we
anything
need to-
before they pass? You only have a couple seconds before they continue on and through that door.
If we let them go through the door, they won't be in the hallway, which means they won't be in the way.
I guess so. Okay, yep. Yeah. His hand's just hovering
Right.
over a grenade.
He just kind of pats the hand.
Yeah, okay.
Soon, little master, soon.
Okay, yep.
Just think, my little master, they'll all be in one room, and you can throw one big bomb at them.
Yeah. Patience, patience.
With that, you notice that they move forward and into the room beyond, and the one at the end closes the door behind it.
Mm.
Come on.
So, yeah, the door is pushing me.
What? Well, I kind of want to see what's going on.
I don't understand.
6 kobolds went in that door.
Which door? There's lots of doors.
He did point.
But it's
No, I
that
know.
door, Master Krusk, that door.
Oh yeah, sorry. Come on, guys.
Be quiet.
What does that mean?
What?
Yeah.
Shh, shh. Step softly. Don't talk.
And make sure to carry a big stick.
Nice.
So what's
All right,
our
so
order?
Krusk is moving out ahead, it looks like.
Just a little bit. I stopped when they were like telling me to quiet down to watch my step to make sure I wasn't kicking rubble. I did roll, but there's a delay in the system.
Okay.
I am
I was like, I
currently
can't move.
reaching out. No, I'm currently reaching out. Yeah, we're not the only one. They're receiving a lot of issues right now. So
Gotcha.
Must be a lot of people playing tonight.
Yay.
Well,
Yay.
so just kind of thinking metagamey here, we were considering, I think on the original schedule, we had planned to go to 11:15-ish anyway. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, that's usually 11 to 11:30 is usually what we shoot for.
So if we get to the point where Foundry's being, or the Forge server is being, is stonewalling us enough that we can't take the next steps, we want to call it a few minutes early. That might be a convenient time.
I did roll a 15 on my stealth check.
Oh, nice! It just popped up.
Yeah.
Great.
Foundry's
Hey.
listening. It's like, wait, no, I'll be good. I'll be good.
I promise.
Yeah.
I'm
But
sure something's going on. There's a lot of people saying right now, so
They're paying.
it's probably something simple.
Thanks for looking at that,
Yeah.
Jacob. But honest, also
Yep.
meta-wise,
Yeah.
for everyone, Josh, whenever you feel it's right in the story to pause, you just call it. That's all good.
Okay, that works. Okay, so we'll continue moving forward at this point and see how it goes. So this is our marching order, and where is Krusk leading the group at this point?
I was gonna check this door real quick. Just is
Cool.
there's traffic to this door in the dust?
Yes,
it's,
the only one that looked like
Was this
and you
one?
can you can see far enough down the hallway. The one that you first passed on the left had no traffic going to it, and that's pretty much it. All the other ones appear to have the rubble that's been and dust that's been kind of pushed off to the side and tracks here and there, but it's significant enough travel tracks.
I would.
You're not picking
well,
out individual footprints in most cases.
I would step up to this door and do I kick this one in? Or wait, I can't. It's stone. Do I open this one?
They didn't go in that one though, right?
Yeah, the farther
They
one.
went in the farther one.
Let's wait. Let's go to the right.
Except they seem to come. They kind of come out of some door, right? Because they showed up in the hall and then they kept going, so it's possible. Then there's also this
Did you say they
door.
came out of this door or this door?
They came out of this one up on the right,
Okay, that's what I
and
thought.
they were crossing the
okay.
hall directly and going into this one.
They Scooby Dooed
They were
over.
talking about. They were talking about their guest over here as they went over here, talking about feeding her to somebody.
I open the door.
No.
All right. So Krusk opens the door, It swings open. Oh wait, did I just close it on you again? Sure did. Apologies.
No.
Or I tried to and it didn't take it. All right. That's cool too. Okay. So as you open the door and begin to step in, you do note that you hear those same voices from, or at least similar voices from deeper within this area. What you see directly in front of you is a pile of broken furniture and stones that have all just been kind of piled up together as a sort of blockade across this passage. It's about 3.5 feet tall, so not so tall that it's insurmountable, but it looks like it was intentionally placed there. And you do hear voices from that direction speaking in that same draconic tongue. And then I'll unpause and let you.
As I hear that, I step back, and there's a torch here next to the door, yes?
There is, yes.
I grab the torch, and I wind up for a throw, and then I quick glance at my other party members, and I glance at Knobby. Huh?
I mean, I'm doing whatever Krusk is doing.
Sure.
Knobby waves everybody else up here.
Can I go up? There we go.
Yes.
You can let me. Go, go.
He goes, and just nods.
And so my goal is to throw
He's on Krust's back right now, just for clarifications.
And I go to throw the torch onto the pile of wood and furniture scrap.
Okay. All right.
Do you want it to really take off? Or you just, see what happens? Because I could help.
Yeah, accelerate that. Yeah, make it go.
Okay, yeah. So I can whip up an oil flask with my ability and then toss it.
Nice. All right. So, quick question, Dan. Do you know how long it takes you to whip up that ability, whip up the flask?
Bonus action for that specifically.
Oh,
yeah.
Easy peasy. Okay, cool. So you.
It's more like just pulling out the supplies.
Apparently so. Yeah, you're like a super fast artificer. Hand it off, and you're throwing these in tandem into the.
Yeah.
Nice.
I suppose I'd technically be second throwing. He throws it and then gives me permission.
Yeah.
If it matters.
Fair enough. In this case, not as much. So you see the flask hit this pile of rubble and disperse the oil across the top. You see the torch fly just a millisecond behind it and land and burst into flame. And there's this immediate response of holy crap. And there is no you see the flame there at this point. Definitely lighting up that space.
Can I use my druid craft to encourage it to grow? It is.
I believe so.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the spell.
Thing.
Is it really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can literally start instantaneous harmless sensory effect. Oh, where is it? I can instantly ignite or extinguish a candle or torch, smoking pipe, or small campfire. I just feel like I'm helping, ignite small campfires.
Checks out in my book.
Lots of little campfires.
We weren't supposed to burn the place down, right? I mean, this is okay.
It's stone.
It's made of stone. It'll be fine.
Little high five.
The sad thing is, high five. But the sad thing is, Knobby's the responsible one, and he said that.
Yeah, that's a thing. So
the babysitter's given into the zeitgeist.
this hate me so much? Anyway, I'm trying to put a little fire template here, and it's not cooperating.
I mean, I see fire.
But yeah, but it's like
I see fire. Oh,
it doesn't look like it's supposed to. I hit save on the little template, and it keeps like resetting it to purple, a purple rectangle, which is not what I told it to do. Anyway,
I do see it on there though. That's awesome.
squarest frame, the squarest flames ever.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, that was intended to look kind of cool, and it's very lackluster, but we'll go with it for now. So you do note at this point there's the crackling of the burning oil that is spreading across this surface, this little barricade, and at this point you hear a door slam somewhere on the opposite side of this chamber. You can't actually see very far into this room. But somewhere back here, you hear the slamming of a door.
I step out and slam the door in return.
Tit for tat.
Well,
all right.
I mean, we've clearly announced ourselves here to come.
I mean, technically, nobody knows what happened. You know, things spill, they light on fire. It just
Doors
seems to
close
happen.
themselves.
That is true, actually.
Knobby just sighs and he hops down and he starts walking over here because he wants to make sure that the dwarf prisoner's not in there.
Yeah, I did promise that Paula'd be okay, I think. Or was it you guys? I don't remember. Something
Check
like
your
that.
notes.
You guys have had me cross so much stuff out.
I said her granddaughter would be fine, not her grandma.
Oh, okay. All right. Good. As long as I'm not culpable. Let's find
Are you
Grandma.
opening this door? Wait. There's a door here. Oh.
Let's go in there. Let's see.
Knobby's trying to be stealthy. He sees that the kids have totally done it all now. So he's trying to be sneaky enough to not have somebody know he's listening at the door at the place where he thinks the dwarf woman might be.
Mm.
Gotcha.
So you're not at
I
the
figured-
same door as us.
So make a quick perception check.
Okay.
And he's going to the one they went through. Is he going here?
No, they
Door
came
knob.
from here talking about not liking their guest. So he's making sure she's not tied up in there or something like that.
Gotcha. So is he going up to the door and listening, right?
That's the intention.
Sure.
Before the kids open the other door.
We're gonna
Possible.
Scooby-Doo across. They're gonna come out of the other door, and they're not gonna see us.
It's really sold on this. Oh man, here we go.
Ah! It'll be
All
fine.
right.
That's just his perception check.
It's just
He's
perception.
like,
yeah.
she's not in there. Yeah.
Gotcha. So Knobby, as he's moving forward, he doesn't make out anything coming from that direction, from beyond that door, but mainly because he can hear very loud conversation going on the opposite side of this door. The kobolds who went through that door appear to be making having some very loud conversation. With a 10, you can't make out the details.
Probably
But they're-
something like fire, smoke, bad.
Very possible. Very possible. But they're definitely making a fuss on the other side of that space.
He just shrugs, turns around, walks, half hobble, half walks back over and throws his arm at that door that all the noise is at. And he's like, okay, open that one.
So he's coming here. Oh, no, he's going there. Okay.
Oh.
Gotcha. All right. So
Yeah.
You open this door
Good.
and immediately see one really surprised kobold just on the other side of it that turns and is like, "Ah!" And you can see it on the opposite side of the door, a similar barrier built just beyond it, and you can see just the top of the head of another kobold just beyond that barrier. Your immediate reaction was going to be what, Jacob?
I put my hand up. Just, and then I make a motion with my left hand to like pull Knobby closer because I don't speak their language.
I mean,
Knobby's just looking at you like,
I probably do.
We're supposed to be hunting kobolds, aren't we?
Was that in
And
common? Do they know common? They probably do.
he said, he would say it in common.
So in response to that, the kobold that just had that immediate like fear, deer in headlights reaction, reaches down and grabs at a dagger at its belt and screams out, "Intruders!"
A smile.
They already know that!
A smile
And
comes across Krusk's face.
And at that, I think we are on the dot at 11:15, and I think we should pause here and begin our next session in 2 weeks. For those of us who will be back to join us with an initiative roll.
Oh yeah.
Knobby tried so
That
hard,
worked.
okay?
I
He
know.
tried to keep them out of trouble. He's like taking it slow with them. He's like, but no, let's just throw a torch and just
go.
light it on fire.
I love like the idea that
Fire.
the freeze frame at the end of this episode is Krusk and Azora smiling, and Navi's just like this, and Yeemik's facing the wrong direction.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Man,
That is
awesome. Let me switch over here. To
Well, this-
many windows.
Too many windows.
I hope that this has been enjoyable for y'all. I hope it's been enjoyable for the viewers. I hope that folks will tune in again. I forget the date off the top of my head, but we said 2 weeks, right? For the
Yeah, I
next
think it's March
episode.
1st, actually,
Tis
That
March
sounds
1st.
right. That
Yes.
sounds right.
because then March 8th is our next game. So beautiful. Well, thank you, Josh,
Yeah.
so much for running this. Thank you, Adam and Jacob, for joining.
And your
and-
wife.
Well, I mean, obviously. I kissed your headphones close enough. Thank you for being here, my love. Thank you for putting the kids to bed. This is awesome. So again, we're playing Level Up Advanced 5th edition tonight. And yes, we are taking next Wednesday off, February 22nd, because there's multiple schedule things going on for a lot of us. I'll keep people posted here. Maybe we'll do a video game live stream. I'm not sure yet. Or we'll just have the night off. And then we'll be back March 1st with the conclusion of this game. We'll see how that goes. I think so.
There may be some shenanigans.
Yeah,
If shenanigans happen, you never know how long a session's going to take.
That's very
But
true.
it's
Well,
possible that we'll see
Someone
the
will
conclusion.
die. That's right.
No.
It can't be
I'm sure
Krusk.
someone
Bad
will die.
guys.
Because
Yeah.
there's a whole bunch of bad guys that are about to die.
Yeah,
So
that's true,
somebody's
so-
gonna die.
Someone's gonna die. In the meanwhile, don't forget, check the links in the description below. I've got Copper Dragon Games YouTube channel, and of course, Eden Planar Crossroads YouTube channel in there. So give those guys some love if you haven't checked them out yet. And you can, where am I here? March of the Mechs begins in March as well as Knights of New Seattle. So we got a lot of cool stuff coming up in March, and I can't wait to see the end of this game. If you want to become a part of the ever-growing forest known as Avenue Studios, you can do so by by supporting us on Locals or Patreon. Doing so not only gives you access to exclusive content, but you also gain access to our private Discord where you can chat with us, watch movies, play games, and so much more. April 1st is, of course, our Knagha movie night, which is very special, and there's going to be a bunch of giveaways only for our supporters. So if you want to jump in there, we need 3 more to unlock the next care package giveaway that we'll do that night. So if you want to become a part of that, now's a great time to join into our forest. Don't forget to check the links in the description for sound, music, and ambience that we use. Of course, Foundry Virtual Tabletop. And even more importantly, we'll start with Adam. Where can people support you and all of your awesome content, sir?
Well, I believe that they can support both the Interplanar Crossroads and Avenue Studios on Patreon and Locals. The Interplanar Crossroads also has a subscribe star, or you can just contact us all directly. So that works.
Beautiful.
And does Copper Driving Gaming have a Patreon?
Yeah.
So there is a Patreon. It's it is there. Links are there on the copperdragongames.com website as well as the YouTube channel. I do want to say before we peace out tonight, if what you saw at the beginning of the session looked cool, if you liked the Brimberg town, there is a supplement over on DriveThruRPG PDF version, and there is a Foundry module in the works that hopefully I'll have up and published by the time our next session rolls around.
Awesome.
Very cool.
That will be available very soon. And I will also be, if you go and pick up the, it will be in a bundle. So if you go and pick up the PDF now, it'll actually be cheaper. You'll end up getting the PDF, the Foundry module for free.
Sweet.
When that's released.
That's awesome. And if it works out that it is ready when the next game comes up, we'll have those links in the description too for people to follow. And then maybe I'll pin comment it on this. So people watching in the future, check out the pinned comments. And this will be also up available on podcast probably this weekend. I try to get it up by the weekend that we play. So this will all be up everywhere podcasts are, and I'll try to have those links as they become available. That's awesome, man. I didn't know that. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. Well, everybody, you're awesome. Thank you, chat. Thank you, people in the future watching and listening. Thank you for joining the adventure. We will see you next time. All right. Bye.
Good night.